What's up YouTube, it's MX Down. This is how it's going down. In this video I'll be bringing to you even more reasons why I'm so bullish on Zilliqa. I've just learned like stuff that's like sort of crazy, and I'd like to share it with you guys basically. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I try to bring you guys coin breakouts and different cryptocurrency news and just overall waves and vibes. So yeah, hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Chiefy, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
It's world domination, nation. You tuned into my station. Always got the doobie in the motherfucking Nathan. Always got the trees. So what the fuck you mean I ain't about to rise to the top with my fucking world domination?
Before we get into the video, I'd just like to share with you this piece of Zilliqa news that I saw on their Twitter. Not sure if you guys follow them or not, but it's just always interesting, to keep an eye on the different news and events that these projects are coming up with. So just have a look in the video and you'll see.
One of the key achievements that we will have for Layer 3 is going to be the DEX that's coming up in Q3 2020 this year. That's the DEX that we're building together with our partner Switcho called Zilliqa. And with the Zilliqa DEX, we can actually power the higher level layers, for example the app layer, where there's the lending facilities, lending protocols, remittance services, and C2B cross-border payments. With Zilliqa actually launching Q3 this year, the first thing that we're going to do is to create the liquidity pool for ZilXSGD pair, and we're going to actually create a liquidity incentive for people to mint XSGD on the Express platform and also pool their ZilXSGD that's minted into the liquidity pool, and they will receive rebate tokens in return, which could be in the form of ZIL itself or could be in the form of CRC tokens, and we are still in the midst of discussing the mechanics and details together with our partner Switcho. The rewards for the rebate tokens will be put up on a weekly basis so that the liquidity providers can actually claim the rewards on a weekly basis. And we're going to set up the same incentive structure for other tokens that are going ahead for the liquidity pools. So one of which is actually the focus, which is ZIL BUSD pair, after the ERC20 to ZRC2 bridge by the Switcho team is created. There are also more stablecoins that we're targeting, like for example USDC, USDT, and we want to suck as much liquidity away from other blockchains like Ethereum, Tron, into Zilliqa as possible. The Switcho bridge is targeted to launch in Q4 of this year, and we're going to integrate it directly into the Zilliqa exchange, so it'll be easy for people to interface with it.
With this piece of news, I do believe that my interpretation of that video is that they're planning to add DeFi on their DEX, so that should better the supply and demand dynamics and potentially increase the price of Zilliqa. Well, to be honest, I need to educate myself a bit more on what they're planning to do with their staking. But anytime you hear staking, it's good for the price. It's very, very good for the price. Staking and DeFi in this current market landscape is the buzzwords basically. So first of all, we're going to have a look at the charts of the overall market, that is, and we can see there hasn't been much price movement. The biggest gainers that we had in the last week is Chainlink, so congratulations to all you Chainlink holders out there. Bitcoin Cash, I don't own it, I never will, but congratulations to you. EOS has done quite well in the last week or so, and so has Tezos. In the last 24 hours, we've seen Yearn Finance, YFI, they have surged 35%, and I believe they've been listed on Binance a couple of weeks ago or a couple of days ago. RSR have surged 34%. Status, I don't know much about them, but they've surged quite a lot actually. Looking at some of these market caps, if you guys would want to get in on these, they're not this lowest cap market caps, and there is a lot of room for growth. But what you need to bear in mind is that you'd be buying a top if you buy into these coins now. So maybe keep an eye on these coins, have an alert or something, and then when there's like a 5 to 20% retracement or something, that's when you can put your funds in. That's what I'm possibly looking to do. I don't think I'm going to buy any more Chainlink. Band protocol I might try to get into, but Chainlink, I've got enough there as it is. I'd prefer to spread my funds out. Looking at the biggest losers real quick, we have Uma, Loopring and DigiBuy. So I own DigiBuy, and I'm still up overall, but I'll get into that in another video, probably tomorrow. So yeah, that'll be that. And anyway, to the main reason for today's article. If you guys don't know about Zilliqa, just briefly, Zilliqa is a blockchain based on sharding technology, and it's that's its most outstanding feature. So its transactions are dividing into small parts and distributed among several miners who perform parallel transaction verifications. That's essentially what sharding is, and this allows for a boosted speed, and essentially their transaction speed is 1,000 times faster than Ethereum, and I did not know this before. Prior to this, I was just looking at the Zilliqa chart, saying, "Oh, that looks sexy. Let me get in on that." But actually looking at the the fundamentals and the technology behind it's mind blowing. This article states that one of the reasons for its coin value is that it has over 21 billion, as opposed to Bitcoin's 21 million. So that means that their supply is a lot more divisible. Considering there's going to be a growing amount of people each year on this earth, having 21 billion coins is, it makes a lot more sense. It's way more divisible, and it's a lot easier. They definitely have a use case, and they also have a tech advantage in the fact of their technology being so much quicker than Ethereum. The platform plans to issue out 21 billion coins, and initially they only listed 60% of the total volume when it was generated, but down the line, over the next 10 years, in the second quarter this article, I don't know how old this article is, but essentially over time they're planning to release the rest of the coins. And just looking at the chart, you can just see how undervalued it is. Bear in mind, this chart is probably quite old. It may be from last year, I don't think it's this year, but nevertheless it doesn't change the fact that you should be bullish on Zilliqa. Some more reasons why people are optimistic on the price of Zilliqa include that it's the first successful blockchain to implement sharding in its network scalability, which it gives it the first mover's advantage in that regard. Secondly, it's planning to launch out more of its tokens on different exchanges, and I believe some of these exchanges it's already on, like Binance and Coinbase. They mean Coinbase, but you get the point. Some of these other exchanges I haven't really heard of, like CoinEx, Gate.io, Orbit, but I'm sure by now. In fact, let me just go on CoinGecko.com and then type in Zilliqa, and then we'll see what exchanges that they're on, and we can just have a sort of better understanding of how their development is going. So when that article was written, it said that it was undervalued by 94%. So currently it's undervalued by 89%. But we'll get into the numbers a bit later on. So we can see it's available on these different platforms.
This one for me. Uh-oh. I gotta clean that.
Yeah, we can see all the different platforms that it's available on. If you guys are looking to buy Zilliqa or any other cryptocurrency that is, then go on coingecko.com and look at these different exchanges. Go based off the trust score. So if there's a low trust score, it means that there's low liquidity and it would be difficult to get your funds off of that exchange, whatever it is. If it's a green trust score, or I would stay away from amber because that can be a bit but green trust scores is safe enough, and there'll be a good enough amount of liquidity for you to either move your token, sell it, buy it, whatever it is that you want to do with it. But going back to my original point, you can see it's actually listed on quite a few different exchanges, and they're all quite reputable actually. Binance, I haven't heard of BKX, but Binance, I've heard of Upbit. KuCoin, they're quite good for low cap gems, and yeah, you get the gist of it. You guys can read. Zilliqa is a high throughput blockchain platform that achieves over 2,828 transactions per second in its testnet implementation of sharding. Now, I don't know what its current transaction per second is with its current mainnet, but just look at this for comparison. So Visa's transactions per second is around 1,700 transactions per second. That just blows my mind. I'm sorry, I don't care what you have to say. So getting into the numbers now, we can just see how truly undervalued Zilliqa truly is. So as I said, it's undervalued by 89% in comparison to its all-time high, and that all-time high was the 5th of May in 2018, and that's been just under 3 years ago. The all-time low was March 13th, and if you guys had bought in then, you'd be up 8x in 4 or 5 months. So just bear in mind going forward, we're undervalued by 89%. I just want to draw that into your mind just so you understand. And yes, the price will be volatile, but it's worth the risk in my opinion. So I wholeheartedly believe that Zilliqa can make you a millionaire if you put in enough into it. So I'm talking a couple thousand here, but you do need to have the mental fortitude to just hodl and not be shaken out. Make sure you stick to your plan. If you want to take profits, but don't just go in and out of a coin. It's not what this game is about, unfortunately. It's a long game. Investing is like chess in a way. You have to be patient, you have to wait for your moves, you have to wait for your setup, you have to do your research. It's not checkers, you have to do your due diligence. And looking at the USD pairing for Zilliqa, this is on the weekly chart for Zilliqa, and I've drawn a Fibonacci retracement from its all-time high just to its all-time low, which was in March. And you can see, as I mentioned in my previous video a couple days ago, or maybe like a week ago, 4 days ago, I believe that we have formed a cup and handle pattern. It's not the sexiest one because there's a bit of a W in there, but I believe that we formed a cup and handle pattern, and this previous high here of 0.268 cent is where we're currently meeting resistance, and I believe if we're able to flip that support, then our next target would be roughly anywhere from 0.035 cent to 0.5 cent. So anywhere between that range, and obviously between the R1 and R5 support, there will be bounces, fluctuations. Those lines would be seen as resistance. In my opinion, you don't have to agree, but that's just what I think. But we are overall above the 200. Hold on. So overall, we are above the 20-day and 50-day moving average, which is a very, very bullish sign. You can see in the past when there hasn't really been enough price data on it, but on this weekly chart here, in general, when you're above the moving average, in general, when you're above the moving averages, it tends to be a good sign. So just looking at the daily here, then we can have a look at the 200 moving average. So you can see here, yeah, we are above the 200 moving average on the daily chart. So it's a very, very good sign, and you know, who knows where this thing is going to go in the future. I do hope and believe that it will surpass its all-time high, as Bitcoin, the market leader, is expected to surpass its all-time high in the next couple of years. So essentially, while these prices are really, really low, we should try to stack as many sats as we can. Just quickly looking at the Zilliqa BTC chart as well, it's not as sexy, but you can see here we're hovering above 212 satoshis, and similar to the USD pairing, you can see the cup and handle formation, and it's not as sexy, and it's not a smoothly carved cup or handle, I should say, but essentially it's the same thing. You know, we're above the moving averages for the most part. We did have a little dip here in July, but we're above the 20-day, above the 50-day, and we're above the 200-day moving averages. Currently using the 0.618 on the Fibonacci extension tool as support. So, you know, I would see our next target in the next couple of weeks to be roughly around the 0.78, which is around 253 satoshis, which would be, what percentage move would that be? Like 20% maybe? 17% move in the price. So if you're asking, should I buy Zilliqa? Yes, I'm gonna buy Zilliqa. Doesn't mean you should, but I'm gonna buy Zilliqa. So that's literally been the video. I know it's been a bit all over the place, but yeah, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and yeah, I try to bring you guys coin breakouts. This one is just bursting for a breakout. It's bursting for a breakout. So yeah, that's been the video. See you soon, guys. Bye.